You are being transferred to the operator. I had had enough of the running around, the missed calls, the signed cards, and I had had it with the second-guessing, hiding behind my curtains and hearing nothing but the busy signal. If they couldn't deliver my package on time, I would simply go and collect it from the depot myself. I had no idea what the package was. The whole ordeal had been going on for about 2 months now. A purple card had showed up on my doorstep, so I simply went online, filled in my details, and waited the next morning. Despite this sitting in from 8 a.m. until 1 p.m., no delivery was even attempted. Yet when I rolled downstairs to head to work, now much later than I had negotiated with my boss, having running upstairs to get a coat, and a note was waiting on the front door rug for me, bold and purple and smug, with a passive-aggressive apology about my own absence. A similar incident had occurred a week later. I was still packageless and the cards had increased in frequency. Sometimes two would be waiting, wedged through the letterbox. I had phoned. Of course I had phoned. The number wasn't toll-free, so I was forced through a matter of finance to call my work phone in the later afternoons when people in the office were too tired and bored to eavesdrop on me. I'd gone through all the menus. My God, I'd been through them all well enough to know how to get through. 4, pause 2 seconds later. 1, pause for 1 second. 1, pause for 2 seconds. 3, then there'd be a clunk, a snapping noise, and a pre-recorded voice would intone coldly, "You are being transferred to the operator." After that, the sound of the phone ringing, ever so slightly echoey, and occasionally, and not in any regular intervals as far as I've been bothered to calculate, the sound of that voice again, "You are being transferred to the operator." I had never been able to connect to a human being, just that voice, pre-record, or the automated lady of the option menu. My record for holding on this line was 47 minutes. Funny thing, it hadn't felt that long. I'd rung up on that occasion on a Wednesday, about 10 to 6, and sat half distractedly by invoices with the work phones cradling between my cheek and shoulder, and I guess that voice must have had a slightly hypnotic quality to it, irregularly reminding me that the transfer was in process, and the mythical operator was expecting me, I suppose. When I snapped out of it, it was only because the cleaning staff came in and started to empty the bins noisily. I went home and resolved I would simply visit the depot myself on Friday after work. It was open until 7 p.m. according to that damned purple card, just on the edge of town. Not the most celebratory way to end the working week, but it wasn't as if I had any plans anyway. I had been too busy at work and too distracted lately to go out with friends. The depot was completely dark when I arrived in good time for closing. It was a single lock-up with a parking lot. Other traders on the site had already departed for the weekend, and the lamps were still sodium in this part of the time. Everything was a queasy yellow. I squinted at the address on the purple card, now a lurid brown in this light, and confirmed I was in the right part of town. I sat in my car and tried the number again. I could hear the phone ringing inside of the depot. Then someone picked it up and the shrill tone stopped abruptly. "Hello?" And this time the response was live, though it was the same voice and phrase I heard before. "You are being transferred to the operator." "Sorry?" They hung up. I got out of the car and tried ringing again, but my call went back to the normal menu. I was reconnected to the lady of options menu, who seemed as pleased as ever to see me, which was not very much. The phone inside the building did not ring. I waited for a few minutes, but no sign of life stirred, and a sudden gale started up. I drove home in good time. There was no traffic to speak of. When I got home, there was a card waiting for me, but it wasn't a missed delivery. It stated that a collection would be made in the next few hours, so I decided to wait for them to come and collect. I think that perhaps after all the delivery had been made. I don't feel as if I'm missing anything anymore. The neighbors aren't in, and my friends won't return my calls, and the internet forums I frequent seem quiet even for a Friday, so I finished writing this and I'm sat cross-legged waiting by the threshold ready to be collected. And when I lean my head against the door, I think I can hear someone on the other side who has been waiting a long time too. Waiting to, at least, speak to a real person.